Welcome to the Truth About Entrepreneurship podcast with Ms. 24-hour entrepreneur Sheena Johnson. Tune in as we talk about startups, finance, marketing, business development, networking, investments, customer service, and so much more, sharing the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. This podcast will provide you with informative content that will catapult your entrepreneur state of mind.
So we're going to just dive right into it. We're not going to waste any time. Today, we are talking about success. So just a little backstory. You know, I have been an entrepreneur for about 14 years. I did have some jobs on and off, but I really just decided to make that just commitment and go full stream into entrepreneurship. And it has been a wonderful, wonderful experience, but I've had some ups and downs. So in those ups and downs, in trial and error, making mistakes, and just, you know, learning along the way. No one taught me. I do not have a business degree. Everything I really have is honestly taught to me from the Lord. Okay, great. Thank you, T. So it's really taught from me. God really just taught me some things in business. And so today I'm sharing with you some of the things that I love talking about preparing for success. I did a video not too long ago about it. And so this time it's just a little bit different. I tweaked it to make it a little bit more special instead of a generalized, instead of just something in general, and just threw out some things out there that has really helped me prepare for success, but some things that I honestly took to heart, because in our business, we really, really make it important to incorporate our life's beliefs, our blessings, and we, sorry about that for the little break. My husband's home, so I'm sorry for jumping out this for you guys, but so I wanted to incorporate some of the important things that we dealt with just in our personal, lives, everyday lives. So some of these tips that I'm going to be giving you are just some personal things and some things that I learned from some friends of mine who are also in business, and these are biblical principles, and these are the biblical principles that we use in our business. So I'm going to dive right in, and then I'll give you some practical that I believe are also streamed and based from the Word of God. So the first thing, thank you for tuning in. Please hit share, like, create a watch party, everything. Share to your friends and family members. So the first thing is treating your employees and those that you work with or in your circle fairly. So it is very, very important that you treat people fairly. You treat your employees. You treat those who you come in contact with. You treat those people who are on your team. You treat them fairly. And not only meaning fairly being nice, I mean like treating them fairly with pay, treating them fairly with including them, treating them fairly with going out of your way to do things for them that you would want someone to do for you. Sometimes showing your appreciation to people, doing little things for them, including them, those things are the way you treat people fairly and show them that you care. The scripture that I have that backs this up is you shall not abuse a needy or destitute laborer, whether a fellow countryman or a stranger. So everyone that you come in contact with, you got to have a positive attitude. And that's one of my practical reasonings or principles of preparing for success, is having a good attitude. And that kind of ties into treating your employees fairly and treating people fairly, simply because, and that is Deuteronomy 24:14. And basically, you want to treat people fairly because you want people to treat you fair. You want people to be honest with you. You want people to show you the truth. And you want people to have integrity when they do business with you. So in return, you have to put out there what you would like to get back, especially with your business. Okay, so if you know that your prices are ridiculously high and nobody's going to pay them, don't get on your high horse and say, well, I don't know what you could say, but, if you know that you kind of, charge somebody too high for something and you didn't have to charge them that high for it, but you just wanted to get your money because you knew they had it, that's not being fair. Because you don't want someone to see how you drove up in your car or what kind of house you live in or how you splurge your money. And then they say, oh, well, I'll charge her that because she got it. And then I'll charge the other person whatever I think they can afford. I remember having an experience once where I had went to get my hair done, and the lady, she catered to another client because she felt the client was wealthy or well off. And I waited all day, and I was not treated fairly or right. And then she did double charge me, where she gave the other lady a discount, and the lady never tipped or anything and still complained and wrote bad reviews. So that goes to say, treat everyone fairly, because you don't know who knows who. You don't know who will be a returning client of yours or customer of yours. You don't know who will go online and write a wonderful review for you. Just the energy that you give out, you want to receive that same energy. You want that same favor. Should I use that word? You want that same favor. You want that same treatment. So always treat your employees fair. You know that it's snowing, and you know that it's a funny meme that's online where like it's like 12 feet of snow, or it's like the Hurricane Katrina, and they called in, and when they called in, they said, when they called in and said, I'm not going to make it to work. And the manager was like, you still going to make it to work, right? And like their house is completely flooded with water. That's not fair. They can't make it into work. That they can't do certain things. So, and knowing that, I mean, it was a joke, but some people still think like that. And some business owners think like that. Hey, I still need to make this money, so you need to still be here. You have a code. Okay, we have a mask you can put on, or you'll work in the back today. Not considering, I had a supervisor once when I was working in a salon. I had to do a school orientation for my son to get into this school I wanted him to go to. And guess what? My boss was like, no, you can't take off. This is more important. Have your mom or someone do it. What? People have lives. Your job is not the only thing that they have going in their life. So you have to be relatable, and you have to be fair with anyone, people that are on your team or with strangers. That energy and that fairness and that favor that you give out will always come back to you. Another one, we're going to talk about customer service. I love customer service. Another thing in preparing yourself spiritually for success is customer service. And this kind of ties in Leviticus 19 and 18. Love your neighbor like yourself. Come on now. When you have clients that's coming in to spend their money with you, when you have clients that's coming back to you, treat them like you want to be treated. That goes back to treating your employees fairly. Like, I can't state this enough. Like, customer service is the number one issue that can cause your business to fail. It's one of the top reasons for you not to have the dedicated clientele. People won't come back if you don't treat them right. Love people like your neighbor. Like, have you ever went into a business and you felt as if, like, you know what? I love the feeling in here. Like, the owner, she came out, she spoke to us, or the owner followed up with a gift card, with a greeting card. They send me cards on my birthday. They send me discounts in the mail. Like, this company really, treats me well. I shopped at this company once, and they send me a birthday card every year. You know what I'm saying? Like, treating your clientele and showing them that you appreciate them is one of the number one reasons your business and clientele, your return clients will come. I get a lot of hairstylists that say, how do I get customers to come back? How are you treating them? Are they coming in and waiting hours? Are they not able to reach you on the telephone? Is it always something going wrong with your email where they can't get to you or you're not responding on your messages? Like, what is going on with your operation? Like, you've got to respond back. Even if you can't help them at that moment, when you see that message, say, hey, thanks for reaching out to us. We'll get back with you as soon as someone comes in the office, or we'll get back with you as soon as we can. We appreciate you looking into our company. We appreciate you coming into such and such and seeing what we offer. Just so people can get that warm welcome from your company, because, we always say the first impression is everything. And what are people getting? What type of impression are people getting from your company? Their first impression of your company, of your business. What face of your business are you putting out there? And you can say, how is that preparing myself for success? Well, the thing is, once you reach a certain mark in your business, you can have a decline or you can have an incline. And the thing is, these are things that will continue to keep people coming back, continue to keep your clientele, your client base, continue to add and bring more clients. Appreciate those clients that come in. Hey, we have a referral program. If you refer someone, this, that, and the other. So you have to make sure you're loving on your clients. Client Appreciation Day. I remember when my mom had her salon, she did a Client Appreciation Day. And so the clients will be able to come in and get all type of services. And we would serve them nice little spritzers, and we'd have little light bites and little drawings and gifts and things of that nature, just to show them that we appreciate them. You have to have A1, number one, customer service. You have to have A1 customer service. And that goes in loving your neighbor, love your neighbor like yourself, treating your neighbor like you want someone to treat yourself, and treating someone like you treat yourself, being honest and moving in integrity. Leviticus 19:36 says, you shall have just balances and weights. So in that meaning, you want to be honest. It's so easy to do business the wrong way, but you want to make sure you're doing business the right way. It's so easy to just start up and get out there and throw something together and do it, but you don't want that. You want to start the right way, because if you start something the wrong way, you'll finish it the wrong way unless you get a hold of it in the middle. Unless you get a hold of it and make a serious change. You want to make sure you're honest with your paperwork, honest with your documents, honest with the way you're paying your employees, honest with the way you are, just moving forward in business. Your bookkeeping, you want to be honest in that, because it all will catch up to you in the end. So you want to make sure you have just balances. Make sure your paper trail is 100%. And being honest and having integrity in the way you do business, and not trying to get over on someone. Let's make sure we are not trying to just get over on someone just because we can. So the next one is do more than what is expected. Go the extra mile. And when going in business and preparing to go in business, don't just think on a small scale. Think like, hey, you know what? I'm going to go the extra mile. I'm going to do more than what is expected of me in my business. And I'm going to train my employees and train my team to go the extra mile. Do what others in that industry, and whatever your industry is, do more than what the next company is doing. If it's too much, then let it be too much, because you're the one that can do it. Let's see. Matthew 5:41 says, if someone forces you to go with him 1 mile, go with him 2 miles. You want to not be that person that just does just enough, because it will reflect in the way you handle business. It will reflect in your business policies. It will reflect in how you do business, showing up. And I mean, we are all guilty. And so this is not a bashing, because I am so guilty of having no business cards sometimes, especially when I'm in a rush. Especially when I'm in a rush. So it's important that you... Could you please get that? You want to make sure you are going the extra mile. You know, you want to make sure that you are the person in your business that is showing up early. Not only so you can set up, but so that you can help someone else set up. You want to make sure, like I was speaking on the business cards, going the extra mile, like, hey, having more than enough business cards, having more than enough, having more than enough retail, having more than enough, whatever it is, thinking outside of the box and doing more than what is expected of you, especially as a company, That is one of the most important things that I think when it's preparing for success, because when you prepare big and when your mindset is thinking, we're going to prepare for this, but we're going to be prepared for this. I got this set amount, for this month, but we're going to be thinking over that amount. And so that makes me think back on Super when she made the $1 million in 90 seconds. Was it 90 seconds, 90 minutes? When she made the $1 million in 90 minutes, she went the extra mile. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I can keep, I could drop ship, or I can keep this certain amount of, retail on stock. But then what happens when you get all this money coming in and you're on back order? You shouldn't be on back order for 3, 4, 5 months, unless something's wrong with your supplier. But even in that case, you need to be looking for other distributors. You need to be making sure you have fallbacks. You need to be making sure you have more than enough people on board and on your team. You need to make sure, you're showing up. Even like I said, if it's just out of the box, I'm showing up with my own logo on. I'm showing up with my own products. I'm ready. It's a saying, stay ready. So you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You know what I'm saying? So if you stay ready and you're projecting your thoughts like, hey, way ahead of time, I'm going to go this extra mile. I'm going to prepare it. I'm going to think. We have this set locked in. But let's think about what's after that. So that's something really, really important to think about. And then sow from your company. So sowing from your company is something very, very, it was something new to me. I know about like giving, to friends and giving things to certain people and giving to, giving away free product and things of that nature. But until a friend of mine or acquaintance of mine, Nick Journey, one day she had told me, she was like, you want to sow from your business. Like, I sow from my business. And I thought, man, I have never thought about that. And I don't know why I haven't thought about that. You really want to sow from your business. Galatians 6:7, a man reaps what he sows. So like in business, like how are you facilitating business? How are you running business? Are you like, we don't do promotions. We don't do this concept. I remember I had jumped on board one day. I had watched a video and I was following a group of women, which I still do. But it stated, no discounts, know your worth in your business. And that's great. That's great. I know my worth in my business. But you know what? What if somebody can't afford me at that moment? What if somebody's having a rough week? What if somebody's sales are too low? I'm not going to be so stuck on my heart horse. Well, if you can't afford me, honey, that's your problem. Why would I be like that? I want to be like, okay, you know what? We have, we're giving away, a free, I don't know, whatever it is you do. We're giving away a free consulting package We're giving away a free book. I'm an author. I write books. We're giving away a free book. I got a makeup company. We're giving away a free thing. We're giving away free affirmations. We're giving away free whatever, okay, give a little, offer your services a little sometimes. You can say I'm crazy. You can say, hey, you know what? But I'm telling you, when you sow from your business, that comes back to your business. When you say, hey, I wrote a book. I'm giving away a free book this month. But you got to follow. You got to take a look at this, that, and the other. Don't be so stuck on, if you can't afford my book, then when you get paid on Friday, or, it's, 10% off, you can miss the very person that you're supposed to serve by being on your high horse and not wanting to offer things from your business or from yourself, because you never know who's out there. You never know who's watching you. You never know who they're connected to. And you never know what they have inside of them. I have this story, and this has nothing to do with business, but I wish I could find the lady. But I remember during Hurricane Ike, we had literally no ice, no cooler. I was like a young mother. I knew nothing about being prepared for a storm. And so we went to the store, and I had maybe $20 because, of course, the ATMs didn't work and all my money was in the bank. So I had maybe $20, and I was trying to get my kids some warm food because we were tired of sandwiches, and water. And so I'm like, I'm going to get a cooler. I'm going to get a cooler, and I'm going to find some ice. So I went to Target. And I went in there, and at this time, I did not know that the ATMs or the credit card swipers didn't work. So I went on the aisle. I got the last cooler. And people were like, I'll give you $50 for the cooler. I'll give you this for the cooler. But it was the last cooler. And I had 2 little young babies with me. And I was like, I'm not going to another store to find a cooler. This is the only cooler. So I get to the store. I get to the front of the store. I have my cooler, and I have some food and some things. And the lady says, oh, we're only taking cash. And I mean, my heart just shattered. Like, oh, my gosh. They are only taking cash. So what am I going to do? And I don't want anybody to get this cooler because we don't even have ice. Nothing's cold. The electricity had been out. So I'm walking to the store, and I'm just almost in tears. And I'm trying to keep a straight face, and I'm holding one kid with one hand and the other kid with the other hand. And we're just walking to the car. And so my son says, Mom, why are we leaving our things? Why are we leaving our stuff? We don't have anything. And I'm like, it's okay, baby. Come on, baby. We're gonna go, and we don't have any money right now because all our money's in the bank and we can't get to our money. And this lady heard me tell that to my son. And so she comes to me and she says, I heard you talking to your son, and I want to give you $20. And I mean, I just was like, oh my gosh, thank you. So I was just so filled with gratitude. Because she didn't have to. She didn't have to do that at all. She didn't know me. She didn't know what I was going through. She didn't know my heart issues. I had the money. But I didn't have it because, it was cash only. So you never know what a person's situation is. But you can bless them in that time that they really, really most need it, And I mean, when she came, she gave it to me. I thanked her. I was bawling all over the place. And and then she came back and she says, oh, and my sister-in-law, she wants to give you $40. I mean, I could have shouted. Like I did, I think, when I got back in the car, I just was like, Jesus, thank you. Like I was so thrilled and so happy because they went out of their way to sow into me, at that moment in time where I felt like I had nothing. I wasn't going to be able to make it. So in saying that, yeah, it's great to be, strict on your prices and your product and whatever it is that you have and in business, because you have to be strict in business. You have to stick to your guns in business. You have to do what works for you. You have to do what works for you. In your business, you can't give out discounts all the time. You have overhead to take care of, you have employees to take care of, and you have your own family and your own household to take care of. But it's just one thing to sow something to someone who desperately needs it at that moment, because we don't know their heart issues and we don't know what they're going through, you know. And God will lay on your heart who to bless and who to do what. But when she stated, yeah, sow from your business, that really stuck with me in my heart, you know. And so that was some of my biblical principles. There will be a part 2 to preparing for success based on biblical principles. And these are some of the principles that I use in my business when we are doing our business in our trucking company, you know, in our transportation, you know, just going the extra mile for some people and treating people the way they deserve to be treated. You know, let's see. You want to make sure, you know, you start small, but you don't stay small. Okay, I may order, you know, $500 worth of product now, but you know what? In a couple months, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to order more. You know, I'm going to kind of get some back bar. I'm going to kind of get some just in case. I'm going to order 1,000 business cards instead of 250 for $9.99. You know, I'm going to be prepared. I'm going to get on my game. You know, I'm going to be looking for ways to improve. And sometimes in business, once we've reached a certain level of success, we stop right there. And I don't want you to stop right there where you've reached a certain level of success and you feel like you've made it, because anything can happen in business. You can take a plunge at any time. Anything can stop. As we see, the government shut down, you know, and so people were not prepared. They were not thinking, how is this going to happen? You know, if you still have a 9-to-5, but you also do your side hustle or your side entrepreneur business, you know, work on that side business, because you never know. Tomorrow you can lose your job and then you're trying to figure it out when you had something working for you all along in that side hustle or side gig or your entrepreneur business on the side, you know, not being afraid to take that leap of faith. So not saying that, okay, I'm going to take this risk or I'm going to risk it all, but not being afraid to step out on faith and moving forward. And with these, and with going into it with integrity and honesty, and going into it like I'm going to be honest about, you know, my payroll. I'm going to be honest about my bookkeeping. I'm going to be honest with my employees. I'm going to treat my employees fairly. You know, I'm going to love my customers like I love myself. I'm going to treat them with the utmost respect and appreciation, because they are the ones that bring the success. They're the ones whose dollars are funding your dream and your vision, you know. So you cannot, you know, you cannot neglect those who are on your team, and you cannot neglect those who support and fund your team. If you treat those around you right, and if you do business with integrity and honesty, you are all the more prepared to move forward in success. Because once you reach the next level and the next level, you won't have to go back and change some things, because you have been honest the whole way through the process. You have worked through integrity the whole way through the process. So those who can vouch for you can say, oh, she's upright. That's a good company that company over there. Oh, SBGTF, that's a good company. You want to work for them, you know? Oh, they treat their employees fairly. They treat their employees right, you know? Oh, they show their customers, you know, that they appreciate them. They're always giving back incentives to their clients, you know? We don't want to just take your money, you know? We want to build a relationship. And that's another thing in being in business. And that's another thing in preparing and sustaining yourself in success and in business, is on these principles, you learn to build a relationship. Relationship building is so vital in maintaining your success. Because when you're honest, like last month, I sent out an invoice. And once I went over my paperwork, I realized I made a mistake. So I emailed and I said, hey, have you processed that invoice yet? And she says, oh, no. And I said, please disregard it. I'm sending a new one. The numbers are off. I think I overbilled for about $200, but I was honest. She was like, oh, thank you so much. I'll make sure I make that change or what have you, you know. And so you want to think of that, because what would have happened with that wonderful contract had they realized I over invoiced, and then they came back and said, oh, you over invoiced. Can you this, that, and the other? You never know how they would perceive that. So you want to be honest. I remember me and my husband, we had a truck do a load, and they paid us, I think maybe they paid us double. So they paid us like $3,000 more. And so we're sitting here figuring out, like, should we say something? And so I'm like, we have got to say something, because clearly this is a mistake. Like, they paid us way too much money. So, we're just still sitting there, and it's hard sometimes to be honest, I understand that. So we're sitting here like, man, I'm looking at the email as I'm drafting it up, and I'm just sitting here like, we need that extra $3,000. But we emailed the company, and we let them know what happened. And so they said, okay, thanks, we'll look into it. So they looked into it. They emailed us back, and they said, it was a mistake on our end, but keep the money. I was like, what? Are you sure? I'm not going to ask, are you sure, too many times, but are you sure? You never know how that could have turned out had they overpaid us. And you could say, girl, you're crazy. I wouldn't have said anything. But then we may have risked our integrity, our honesty, and a good contract had we not been honest. So those are just some stories. We have millions of stories, that I can say and speak to you about. But that was something very, very, these are things that were very, very important for me to share with you today. And this is a lot different from my normal or my original Preparing for Success. So if you guys remember the before Preparing for Success, this one was a bit different from that one. But I wanted to get a little bit personal with this one, because these are some biblical principles that have kept us in business and kept us strong in business, even in those up and down or roller coaster phases that we went through in business. And these were more internal issues, basically how to treat people, appreciating people, going the extra mile in business, thinking outside of the box, staying ready and prepared. Because once you go into entrepreneurship, things may be slow for a little bit. But if you're prepared and if you're out there being innovative, and if you're looking to get yourself out there, success is going to come. And it's going to come very, very fast, and you're not going to be prepared for it. And when you're not prepared for it, you can fail, or you can miss that opportunity because you don't know what to do. Or you can miss a good client because you fail to show appreciation and to have a good attitude. You may have a bad day, but it takes nothing and it costs you nothing to show a smile to a client or to a customer and to a contractor. It takes nothing for you to have a good attitude when it comes to those who are funding your dream and your business. So I really, really thank you. I appreciate you guys for tuning in with me today. I'll be back March, on the third Sunday in March. And we may do a part 2 before then, but if not, stay tuned for part 2. And I really, really, really pray and hope that this did help you in preparing and maintaining and sustaining yourself in business. So I really, really appreciate you guys. Thank you for tuning in with me. Sheena, the 24-hour entrepreneur, here on Facebook and on Spreaker. Go ahead. I'll post the link. If you haven't, go on and listen again. Take your notes or share to one of your friends. I'll be posting. I love you so very much. Thank you so much for tuning in with me today. And you guys have a blessed weekend. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and post them now.
Thanks for listening to The Truth About Entrepreneurship. Make sure you share this podcast with your entrepreneur friends and follow us on Instagram at 24HR_entrepreneur and on Facebook at 24HR Entrepreneur. And be sure to tune in every third Sunday at 6 p.m.